Get reimbursed faster for extra work with Equipment Watch's Rental Rate Blue Book. Learn more at fusible.com/thedirt. Hi everybody, welcome back to Equipment World. You're watching The Dirt. I'm your host Brian, and today we're here to talk about the biggest, most efficient dirt movers in the industry. We're here to talk about scrapers. And today specifically, we're here to talk about John Deere scrapers and some of the new products they're adding to their lineup. So without further ado, here's Matt with John Deere. So my first question is just a stupid high-level question about these things. Are we talking self-propelled scraper units, or are we talking pull-behind units?
Yeah, so for the scrapers we're reviewing today on our new large pans, they're all pull-behind units. Two of them are pulled behind our tractor systems, and one of them is pulled behind the converted ADT.
So I've noticed through the years, it used to be all you saw on job sites were self-propelled units. And then there was this, I would argue it's a relatively short transition period where you would see fleets of mixed. But largely now what I see in my neck of the woods are pull-behind units. Do you have any insight as to why the industry is starting to trend towards these pull-behind units?
Yeah, I think the pull-behind units offer some simplicity for an operator, especially when you're looking at the larger single pans over maybe the multiple pan opportunities that we have. So maneuverability on the job site, reducing shipping costs, training the operators, helping them get up to speed, be productive, and move as much material as they can. Gotcha.
What are the size of the units that we're talking that you guys are introducing? I have no feel for how big these things are and what the capacities are.
Yeah, so our previous largest scraper we had was a 2412, and those could be pulled in up to groups of 3. And now we're offering a 3812 and a 3012 direct hitch or tractor pull behind. And what that means is it's 38 cubic yard capacity and 12 foot wide. And then we also have a 38 cubic yard, 12 foot wide or 3812 articulated or gooseneck scraper that we can put up behind that converted truck.
And are these units still able to be pulled in sets of 3?
These units here are all just one single pan that you'll be pulling just because of the capacity of them, for instance. But
okay.
The 3812 direct hitch is only going to be tied to our new 9RX high horsepower offerings. But then the 3012 direct hitch can be pulled behind any of the 9R tractor offerings that we have available.
Okay, and just to clarify there, as a business owner, does the new model, I'm assuming it's any high horsepower tractor that can pull these units, or are there things integrated into it that it needs to be a John Deere tractor?
But before we get into that, I want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of this video.
Tired of guessing when it comes to your equipment costs or underutilized machines eating into your profits? We know it's a common challenge in construction. That's where Equipment Watch by Fusible comes in. They're the industry-leading source for accurate equipment values, true ownership costs, and crucial utilization data. Imagine having the real numbers at your fingertips to make informed decisions that directly impact your bottom line. With Equipment Watch, you can see the full picture, optimize your fleet, and bid with real confidence. Take control of your equipment expenses and gain a real competitive edge. Visit fusible.com/thedirt to learn how Equipment Watch can help you. I'm assuming it's any high horsepower tractor that can pull these units, or are there things integrated into it that it needs to be a John Deere tractor?
Yeah, so high horsepower tractor would be the requirement there.
Okay.
For those, we do have the ability to adapt those to different offerings. One of the advantages we do have within the scraper business is we do offer one of the largest scraper portfolios, as well as owning the opportunity for the power system as well with the tractor. So one-stop shop for that customer and dealer experience when you're, servicing or purchasing that equipment.
So you mentioned that there's kind of a gooseneck model and there's a direct couple model for a tractor. Are these units able to be converted from one pulling unit to another, or is it we go buy a pan and it's going to be dedicated towards an ADT, and we're going to buy this pan and it's dedicated towards a tractor pull?
Yeah, so it's going to be dedicated to the hitch style that it's purchased as. There are a lot of components like cutting edges and service parts that are compatible between the two, but once a gooseneck, it'll stay as a gooseneck and direct hitch to direct hitch.
Gotcha. So for someone who might have not ever dabbled in the scraper market whatsoever, but they're kind of looking at these and acknowledging how efficient these units are at moving material around the job site. For that customer, What kind of soil conditions do these units really perform well in, and where do they really excel? Is it going to be able to do well in really rocky soil, or are these really geared more towards softer soils? What are we looking at?
Yeah, the softer soils or your clays are going to be better for, cutting and rolling that material, filling that pan up as much as you possibly can. And again, you're not going to run into some of those obstacles as you're scraping that. And then a lot of the determining factors for a scraper is also your haul distance. So how far are you hauling this material? Are we top loading? Are we doing general scraping? All these large pans, if needed, also have the back side of it is set up to be able to be push loaded. So if you're in that thicker, stickier, wetter condition, we can put a dozer back there and help push load that machine to kind of get it through that cut and get it filling up as effectively as possible.
So my final question for you is, are these able to integrate with any sort of machine control? And I want to break that kind of into two parts. The machine control, if it can integrate, is that indicate only, or do you get some automatic integration as well?
So right now on our large pans, there's no automatic integration. I know there's a few things in the field that can be done with some of the things through different dealer networks and whatnot, but we do offer some different technologies within our scrapers. And one of the ones that we're happy to have now with our ADT pulled scraper is the Scraper Pro system, which does automate a lot of the common functionality of cutting, unloading, loading, hauling empty, where it's just a simple press of a button. So we're simplifying it even more for that operator that's especially newer to that operation, where they can press that button, the pan's going to do what it needs to do to cycle for that operation, and they can move on. And there's a really nice display in there as well that is going to help you kind of show the position of the bowl and the cutting edge, as well as a camera that actually faces back at that cutting edge so that you can see your material being loaded and when you maybe need to exit or enter that cut as well.
Excellent. That sounds like an awesome feature I know a lot of the scraper fleets that I'm familiar with, they generally put some of their newer operators in there that don't necessarily have the skills to really run it efficiently right away. So having those sort of options available seems like it'd be a really great tool for a business owner. Well, Matt, thank you again for being on the show. I really appreciate all the information on this. I'm excited to see one of these in action in the field.
Yeah, I really appreciate the time, and always look forward to talking about John Deere equipment.
Well, thank you again for Matt coming on the show to discuss scrapers with us. These are some of the coolest machines in the industry. It is always a lot of fun to watch a big pan in action. So as always, I hope this helps you in your business and gives you a little more information to be more efficient yourself. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Dirt.